I use one called the Well Hung Meat Company, which is quite humorous. It's run by a hippie pair. You know, obviously not the vegan hippie type of people, but good people nonetheless. You know, stop using fluoride toothpaste. Get a fluoride-free toothpaste. It's not any more expensive. I use one called Kingfisher. It's really good because it has... I'm not sure what it has in it, to be honest. I know it's all natural. I've read it. I can't remember it off the top of my head. But it has a substance in that's really good at sort of scraping away all the plaque. It seems better to me than even the, you know, the fluoride, the stuff that contains fluoride, which is promoted as, you know, the best stuff. This one, you really feel the smoothness afterwards. It's not hard to start adding these things to your lifestyle gradually. You don't have to jump in head first. The next thing I'd say is stop paying the TV license. Just stop paying it. I don't pay it. There's no need for anyone else to pay it either. Why on earth would we pay for something that lies to us every day? Why do we want to fund the BBC? If we take away their funding, then the BBC disappears. Why would we pay for our own brainwashing? So just stop. You know, there's really 3 ways you can do it. You can ignore the letters completely that they send you, just throw them in the bin and get on with your life, or you can reply to them and inform them that you don't watch TV anymore. I know some people say, well, I do. That would be lying. Well, it wouldn't be the first time they've lied to us. I personally have no problem with saying, oi, I don't watch TV, and sending them on their way. I still do watch TV from time to time, but I personally don't care because I don't think we should be paying for it. That's the point. Or you can go the longer-winded approach through the Lawful Rebellion website, the tpuc.org website, where you can go down the road that EU is treason and the BBC is committing treason, and there's all sorts of different letters you can write there. But I take the simple approach, just stop paying. I mean, I've got first-hand experience with simply not paying. I'll paste this in here. I'll read it out in a minute. This is a letter I wrote to the TV licensing people. So you can all download that as a template. If you are paying a TV license currently and you haven't stopped paying it, or you have paid it in the past and you're still living at the same house, then they already have your details on file, obviously. So the best approach to take there would be to write a letter explaining that you no longer watch TV and only use it for games consoles or DVDs or browsing the internet or whatever, and basically just tell them you no longer need to pay a license. And another little trick you can throw in there is to inform them that the implied right of access no longer stands at your address. Now, the implied right of access is the agreement by which you allow people like the postman and visitors to come on your property to knock on the door. It's an implied right, meaning it's assumed that you don't mind people coming and knocking on your door. But if you specifically remove that right in writing, they then have no right to come on your property at all. If you send it by recorded delivery, that's a receipt for them that they've received it, and if it went to court, then it's proof that you've said they can't come on your property, so they can't. So basically all you got to do is inform them that you don't need a TV license and you won't entertain anybody coming to your door, and it's as simple as that. For them to fine you, they need proof that you watch TV. And the only way they can get proof that will pass in court is for you to let them into your property and then admit that you watch TV, and then sign a piece of paper admitting that you watch TV, which is, you know, I'm sure none of you are that stupid, but that's the only way they can actually fine you for any of this. And they can only gain access if you let them in. Otherwise they would need a search warrant, which they can't get because they're not the police, and they have no grounds to suspect you've broken the law. Owning a TV is not illegal. You see, they can only get you by your own compliance. So what do? We have to peacefully non-comply. So I'll just read out this, the template that I just put up there in the chat room. Here we go. To whom this may concern, with adherence to the Communications Act 2003 and the Communications Television Licensing Regulations 2004. In light of your recent TV license renewal notification letters, I am writing to inform you that as of the date you want to put, I no longer operate TV equipment capable of receiving analog or digital television broadcasts at the address listed, choosing instead to only operate games consoles, watch DVDs and view non-TV related video online, and will continue in this fashion until you are informed otherwise in writing. Therefore, I am not liable to pay a TV license fee to BBC, TV Licensing or Capita, which is the company that they've sort of outsourced this to. And I respectfully withdraw from any agreement that may have been made between us. Because they always say there's an agreement in these things when you've never signed a contract. So it's interesting to see if they ever present one. But anyway, I am also writing to inform you that the implied right of access, which gives people like the postman access to the front of a property, does not apply at the address listed or any future address I may take residence. I hereby declare that no employee or personnel from BBC, TV Licensing or Capita qualifies as an invitee to any of my property. Therefore, any attempt at correspondence by enforcement officers, as alluded to in your TV license letter, of course they always write it in big red, scary letters saying, oh, we might come to your door. Any attempt by enforcement officers, blah blah blah, will be classed as an offence under the Malicious Communications Act 1988 and considered trespassing. Unlike the above removal of implied access, it is my understanding that there is no law in place to prohibit TV licensing from sending out periodic mailings or other forms of communications and inquiry, but I respectfully inform you that as of your receipt of this letter via recorded delivery, I will no longer respond to any such communication at the address listed or any future address. All mailings will be kept unopened and either recycled or politely returned to you. Please find enclosed your most recent letter unopened as it no longer applies. I basically sent their letter back to them. And it's that simple. If you don't play the game, you can't lose. And nobody got hurt in the process. That's the method I used at my old address. And for a good, I think maybe 3 months, they never did anything. There was no future letters. Nobody came to the door. They may have done eventually, but we actually moved house. And this is where method 2 comes in, when you just completely ignore the letters, don't even respond. Because when you move into a new house and the previous occupier transfers their TV license to their new property, they wipe the slate clean. So what they do then is just send out automated letters addressed to the occupier. So they don't even know who you are. So what we've been doing for the past year now is just ignoring the letters. They don't know if somebody's even living here. So, we have had some phone calls disguised as people being salesmen asking for names, if we have a TV, all that kind of thing. But we just don't respond to it. Just tell them you're not interested. If you've moved house, they're never even going to get your details or your name or anything, so there's no way they can find you if they don't know who you are. It's all about you submitting to them. Just don't be stupid and don't fall for it. So if you're in the UK, I think that's probably the best sort of thing you can do to start getting into this peaceful, non-compliant sort of mode. So get a bit of silver, throw out the aspartame and the obvious harmful things, try and go organic, grow a few veggies, get a water filter, or at least buy a bit of bottled water every now and again without fluoride. Just learn to respect yourself. to question authority. If a cop pulls you over or stops you in the street, don't just submit to them. Push it a little, see how far you can take it. Stand up for yourself. You may have to eventually agree with them and go along with it just to ensure you don't have a night in the cells, but at least you've let them know that you're not just a pushover and you're not going to be bossed around, you're not their slave. And another good thing, I think, every now and then is just to write to your local newspaper. If there's a topic you don't agree with, send them a little message, because 9 times out of 10 other people also agree with you. They just haven't written in, because, I mean, you didn't write in until now, or maybe some of you have. But there's all sorts of little things you can do. In my town, they actually tried unsuccessfully to start patrols of private security. And this is, I was inspired by Danny Allen a lot with this and some of Charlie Veitch's work. And this private security was going to roam around our town. They were going to roam around people's neighbourhoods. They were going to carry cameras with them. And I started a little Facebook group, laid out all the concerns, and eventually, you know, they had to stop. And the idea kind of died out. So that's just an example of what you can do at a local level. When swine flu starts getting promoted again, print off a few flyers, walk around in the morning handing them out, put them through people's letterboxes. It's all about sort of getting the information out there. And I'm getting the 60-second countdown. I was going to get into a few other things. Kind of went pretty quick this week, actually. Seems a bit strange. But I'll leave you then. Be sure to check out the upcoming shows. And I will leave you with the Jay-Z Run This Town remix by Chris Geo and Cherie, which is now Free This Town. So I hope you've enjoyed the WideShut webcast here on Resistance Radio, and I'll catch you same place, same time next week.